Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. I am going to do a New Year's makeup glam for today's video. So if you want to know what look I am going to come up with, please keep on watching. I want the primer to sink in into the face before I apply foundation. So I'm going to first apply the Unicorn Primer Drops from Berry M. I like this because it moisturizes my skin and it plumps it before the foundation. I've already applied my eyebrows. Eyebrow products that I use are basically the same, so I don't really have to worry about that. So I'm going to let that primer sink in, and I'm going to bust out this tape that we used before because I want a really nice clean line. So when you try to have that really winged out line, make sure to go from here up to the edge of your brow so you have a lifted look. I like to follow where my lower lash line ends and then go towards the end of my eyebrow. I am going to prime my eyes with a concealer, and for that I'm going to use the Fresh and Flawless concealer from Australis. My eyelids is a bit dry at the moment, so this concealer will help hydrate it as well as prime before we start applying the shadows. I'm not gonna do too much on the eyes because I want to have that really winged out look. And I am going to move on to the eyeshadow palette. I'm going to use the Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I will grab the shade Fresh and quickly set my lids. And I am going to try and set underneath the brow bone because I already carved out my brows. And also it will give a nice highlight on the brows so we know where we are going to end our blending. And for transition shade, I am going to go and use Birch, which is the shade right here. I don't want it to be too intense. I just want to define my crease a little bit. So this wash of color would be great. And don't be afraid to go over the tape, because that's just a guideline for you to have a really sharp line. You could also use the card technique where you place like a cardboard or any card that you find at the edge of your eyes and line it like that. But personally for me, I'd rather have the tape method because it's easier and I don't have to keep switching my hands over with a cardboard. I am going to move on to a smaller brush, and I am going to grab a teeny tiny bit a teeny tiny bit of this shade called Twig, and I'm going to just focus that on the outer part of my crease. I'm not going to put any more product, so whatever is left on the brush, I'll just use that to drag the color inwards. I am going to grab this brush right here, and I'm going to pick up Dystopian, which is that shade right there, and I am going to start lining my lower lash line. My lash line, and dragging that line to the edge of the tape, and then kind of bringing that in, towing it out. And I'm going to grab a little bit of Twig once again, which is that shade right there, and blend that on this eye. And I'm going to go back to Dystopia. That I have that baseline, I am going to pick up this Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art, and I'm going to try and use this blue shade right here as a liner. So I'm going to pop a little bit of that on my hand, and I'm going to use an angle brush and apply that just underneath where we smoked out the line. So I kind of brought that liner towards the inner thirds of the eye. So now I am going to pick up the glitter pot and slowly follow the line that we created and pop that glitter. I'm going to focus this mainly on the outer V. So the glitter has got a little bit of blues and greens to it, but I wanted to make the glitter pop even more. So I'm going to grab another shade of the Photo Ready Eye Art, and this one is a little bit lighter and bronzier, and I'm going to pop that on top of the liner. And then I am going to use this right here to line the inner portion of the eye. I feel like this side is a little bit thinner, so I'm just gonna quickly fix that and make it a little bit thicker. I will pop on the lashes a little bit later on because I want the glitter to dry a little bit, because if I fiddle with it right now, chances are I'll have glitter all over my face. As you can see, I have a really sharp line happening at the moment. It's very subtle, but once the light hits, you'll have that glitter underneath the lights. So I'm going to prime my face, and I'm going to use the ordinary high silicone primer, and yes, it's still the same tube that I'm using and trying to use up. And since I wanted a little bit of glow, I'm going to put the strobing liquid from Maybelline on top just to add a little bit more glow to the skin, and also a little bit of bronze because I am quite pale at the moment. The foundation that I'm going to use is quite mattifying, and it's perfect for party time. It will not budge, it will stay throughout the night, and that is the Fenty Beauty foundation. I have not touched this for quite a while, mainly because the shade is a little bit too dark for my skin tone, because I currently don't have a tan. But this foundation is great for long nights and long parties. It doesn't have any SPF, it doesn't create any flashback, and my tip is to get the foundation that's a little bit darker to your skin tone, because with flash photography it will then not make you look washed out. There's always concealer and bronzer that could fix your foundation. But if you get a foundation that's a little bit lighter, it's gonna be hard for you to make it work, especially for flash photography. I want a super full coverage, so I'm going to apply a little bit more and concentrate on the areas where I need more coverage. I typically don't put foundation on my forehead that much, but for this occasion I might have to, because we want to have a really flawless skin. And this makeup look is very easy. If you're a last minute person like me, this is basically a no-brainer. For concealer, I'm going to go back to the Australis Fresh and Flawless Concealer. This is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, which is perfect because it will brighten the foundation as well as gives me more coverage. I love the fact that this concealer does not look or feel cakey. Now that my face is corrected, I am going to pop a little bit of translucent powder, and I'm going to use the RCMA loose powder. I'm not going to put a lot. because I don't want to have that flashback Mary. So I'll just lightly set my under eye. And also the foundation that I use does not need a lot of setting anyway. Since it's already matte, I just need to set the center parts of my face. And I'm going to use a powder brush, so I'm not gonna put any powder with it. Whatever is left on the powder brush, and also like the leftover powder that I have on my face already, I'm just gonna use that to push into my face. For a little bit of contouring, I'm going to use the Kat Von D Shade and Light powder, and I'm just gonna quickly dust a little bit of that on my cheek and really chisel out the jaw. And a little bit of nose contouring as well, so I'm going to pick up a little bit on a brush to really buff that into my nose. And I want to bronze because this is looking a little bit too cool tone for me, so I'm going to go back to my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder, and I'm going to apply that on top of my contour and apply this as a bronzer to warm up the skin. I want a little bit of glow, so I'm going to pick up this Ambient Lighting powder from Hourglass, and I'm going to use this shade right here just to put that on top of my bronzer. So I have this Maybelline Dream Matte Blush, and this one is in the shade Flirty Pink. And I'll put a little bit of that on my high points to lift my face. Oh, I'm so excited for the highlighter. So for highlighter today, I'm going to go and use the Essence Crystal Power Highlight, and I really want to use this one, and that's the shade Shine Bright. And oh, look at that sparkle. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of glowing energy on top. I am going to just put one shade on my lower lash line, and that would be this shade called Twig. And I'm going to put a little bit of glitter on my lower lash line. So I'm going to go back to this glitter like right here and pop that over here. I don't think I will put some lashes because I kind of like how the liner is looking. For the inner corner highlight, I really want to use this shade called Cyborg from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. Set my face with the Morphe setting spray to make sure our makeup lasts throughout the day. And for lips, I wanted to go a little bit on the darker nude, so I have these three lipsticks that I am going to mix. So I am going to first line my lips with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil, and this one is in the shade BFF3. And then I will put on this Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Bow and Arrow, and to add a little bit of brightness to it, I'm going to top it off with the Australis Girl Boss Demi Matte Lip Cream in Empower. Here is my last minute New Year's Eve makeup look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. This is a very easy New Year's Eve makeup look, and honestly it will take you less than 20 minutes to even do the whole makeup look. I hope 2019 has treated you well and you're ready for 2020 for more challenges and for new things that will come your way. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and thank you so much for being supportive on my channel and on the videos that I upload. I know that my growth is a little bit slow, but I'm still forever grateful with a few subscribers that has stuck even though I have not been consistent. I will catch you next year with a brand new video. Bye!